This video is brought to you by Sailrite. This video will show you how to make throw pillows with Sunbrella Decorative Fringe available from Sailrite. Sunbrella fabric is water, stain, and UV resistant. There are many Sunbrella colors to choose from, and you can coordinate colors quite easily. Sunbrella fabric is very stain resistant. This tablecloth is Sunbrella furniture fabric. We've spilled 100% grape juice all over it, and it easily cleans up with a damp rag. Sunbrella products are kid-friendly, pet-friendly, and extremely weather-resistant. Let's get started and show you how to make a throw pillow from Sunbrella furniture fabric and Sunbrella Decorative Fringe 2-inch. This is the Spa Vellum. Here's Deb Randall in the Sailrite loft to show you how it's done.
Since this is 20 by 20, of course you want to multiply that times 4. Give yourself maybe an extra 6 inches just to be sure that you're going to have plenty.
This is a 20 by 20 inch pillow form. Obviously your pillow form may be of a different size.
Sure. And what you see is we do have it 20 inches across, but it's so full that that's actually what we want to measure it when we cut. We're going to cut a 20 by 20 square that'll finish 19, and it will snug the pillow just right.
Deb's measuring the Sunbrella decorative trim, basically 4 times the edge plus a little bit of extra, and then you just simply use scissors. Be careful not to cut the decorative fringe. Try to cut between each one of the loops.
This is the edge that we're going to take loose because it's going to fray, and this is the edge with the loops. You want to be sure and sew in the seam, because where you see these loops, it's just a string that goes up and down and stops, which is all sewn in with these. So we're going to take our seam just beyond that.
We'll be cutting 2 squares from our fabric that equal the size of the pillow form we're using. We're going to use a Sunbrella furniture fabric canvas spa, and we're using a long ruler here to mark the fabric for our application to 20 inches by 20 inches. That will create a pillow cover that is approximately 19 inches by 19 inches when it's sewn up. The pillow cover will be smaller than the pillow form, which will result in a beautiful throw pillow. We're using the soapstone pencil here to mark the Sunbrella fabric. A soapstone pencil is great because it easily cleans up with just a damp rag. Cutting the Sunbrella furniture fabric with scissors will work fine. The fabric will unravel slightly if you cut it with scissors. You could use pinking shears, which will help prevent unraveling, or use a hot knife. We're using the new Edge hot knife that will be available from Sailrite towards the end of 2012. You'll notice that the Sailrite Edge hot knife heats up in a few seconds, and it cools down in approximately a minute. It's great for cutting fabric. Notice also that we're cutting this fabric with the hot knife on top of a piece of glass to prevent damage to the tabletop. We apologize about the noise in the background. It's raining cats and dogs.
Needle down. That way you know exactly the ½ inch that it's hitting on.
Deb's measuring over a ½ inch from the needle. Then she's going to install the magnetic guide. This will keep the stitch a ½ inch from the raw edge of the fabric when she sews it together. This magnetic guide and other magnetic guides are available from Sailrite. Now Deb will talk about the Sunbrella Decorative Fringe.
Okay, this is our top plate. We're going to stitch right on this line here. Then when we put it together piece, we'll go inside that stitch and cover the whole thing.
This is called the top plate. This is a single piece of fabric. The other bottom plate will be added later. We'll be using the Sailrite Ultrafeed LS1 sewing machine. This is a straight stitch walking foot sewing machine. We're also sewing this together with a V69 polyester thread. A V69 nylon thread will work as well. We're placing the fringe right against the edge of the fabric and sewing through it as Deb explained earlier. To help avoid puckering of the fabric, keep your stitch length fairly long. About 6 millimeters is perfect.
Keeping this side and that side. And come right up to the corner here.
Now watch as Deb gets to the corner. She'll stop the needle about a ½ inch away from the edge of the fabric. She'll lift her foot with the needle buried in the fabric. She'll turn her fabric around, being careful the fringe is laying nicely so it's not in the way.
Fabric forward for sure.
And then she'll lower her foot.
Fringe back.
and continue to sew.
And I always hold these together, just kind of lay it down, pinch it here.
We're going to show just one more corner, then we're going to skip ahead to where the fringe comes together.
You turn ahead of time again, bring this up so that the edge lays flat.
Bury your needle. She's using the reverse lever to get the needle in the right spot. Lift your foot, pivot on the buried needle, lower your foot, and continue sewing.
Push this back, pull your fabric, push your fringe, your foot.
Whoops, the machine is in reverse. Now we put it back and forward. We're going to skip ahead here. Here we're coming to the side that has the fringe that will be joined together.
Straight out. Bury your needle to hold the panel. And bring this up and over, and I would do one loop over top of. Go ahead and put those threads.
The black thread at the end of the fringe is used to help keep the fringe from getting in the way of sewing. Try not to unravel that. Try to leave it together until the total end of your sewing.
Okay, you want to bring this forward, push that to itself. Continue on. And you want to do some back stitches just to hold that in place. And we'll be ready to do top panel.
We apologize for all the noise in the background. We're getting work done, obviously, at Sailrite, but there's also a major rainstorm, and we're getting pounded pretty hard.
What we're going to do here now, we're going to come around, and our 1/2-inch seam is actually going to be sewn in here, so that none of these stitches will be seen from the good side of the pillow. Okay, and we're also going to have to leave an opening so we can turn our cover and then seam it shut on the outside edge. So we want to mark this. You want to be able to come around your corner at least probably 5-6 inches, and you're going to want probably 1/3 of your pillow open to be able to pull it all through without ruining anything. So we're just going to make a couple marks here. We'll start sewing here around, we'll stop there, turn our pillow, and we'll stuff it so it shut. So we have a start line here. I want to go our 1/2-inch.
A little bit later on in this video, Deb will actually take up some of the stitches here to make the opening a little bit bigger. She made it a little bit on the small side, and that makes it difficult to stuff the pillow form in. So, you may want to leave this opening a little bit bigger in your pillow.
You want to take a couple of back stitches here just to hold it shut for when we turn the cover. Bring this up to your corner.
We'll be showing you this corner and one more corner, then we're going to skip ahead.
You want to stop just inside the stitches. And again, you want to turn it, you want to push your fringe, pull your panel, not stretch it, but just taut. Again, and go a 1/2 inch inside of.
Notice how Deb joins the fabric together about 1 foot or 2 away from the sewing machine, then she holds it fairly snug without applying any extra stress on the fabric. You don't want to pull one panel more than the other when you're sewing. Alright, here's our last corner that we'll show you, then we'll skip ahead. Bury the needle. She's using the reverse lever to position the needle. Lift the foot, pivot on the needle, roll the fabric around to the appropriate position, lower the foot, and continue sewing. We've gone all the way around, and now we come to the opening.
Okay, now you want to make sure that you don't have this going on at all. When you turn your cover, you want to be sure that you have a nice tight fit so that when you go to close it, you won't have extra fabric or anything to work in on. So you want to make sure that that's a good fit there. Anything that can be worked in, maybe from this corner. Hopefully it won't need it because it's a pretty good straightaway. Come up to there, and again you want to do back stitching so it doesn't pull apart when you turn the cover.
You can see that she left the hole pretty small in here, so she's going to rip up some of the stitches. I don't believe she started where she marked the fabric, and she's going to discover that after she turns the cover right side out. So work with the corners first and turn the cover right side out.
Pull one side through and just keep flipping with this hand. Turning.
As discussed earlier, do not remove that stitching on the edge of the fringe. That is your friend, even though some of it has come loose here.
Okay, and here's our opening. This side is actually finished. So what we're going to do once we stuff the pillow is we'll come back and we'll pull that out, fold over our 1/2 inch here, and you will have a little bit of a seam from here to here showing when you stitch it down, but the fringe pretty much cover it once it's sewn shut. Okay, so you get ready to put your pillow in. Like I said, you're going to want only about 4 to 5 inches here. You're going to want an opening big enough to get your pillow in. Now I probably could do that, but I don't want to take the chance of ripping it. So we're just going to clip some stitches here, but away from where it's spliced, like so.
Alright, she made the hole a little bit bigger so she can stuff the pillow form a little bit easier.
And it compresses real well, so if you just keep putting a little bit at a time, it may look hard, but it's really more time consuming than hard because you don't want to ruin your cover at all. So you just take a little bit at a time, and you have less to sew shut once you get it in there. And I usually take my last corner and I'll place it right in the corner. Hang on to that one. Do the same thing here. Find your corner, put it into the corner, pinch it. Pull those out. The same thing in the top. Put your corner. Okay, now we're going to go back to the machine, and we kind of make a crease here so we know where our 1/2 inch is. Then we're going to come up here, lay this back out, and you're going to want to start where it's stitched at. We'll take a couple back stitches, then we'll close it shut and back stitch it. We'll go through here, get the fringe under it. And we can come back to where we need to be. Okay, set our foot down, bring this edge, you can see where our crease is here, just over that edge. Okay.
You'll notice the black thread that temporarily holds the fringe together for easier assembly came apart, and obviously it's a little bit more difficult because of that, so try to keep that together as discussed earlier.
You kind of want to hold this and determine a spot in your center. Fringe out. Okay, I'm going to pull this over. That way I can hold that. Ready your needle. Come back to the point where you're going to sew to.
That is all there is to it. To installing a Sunbrella Decorative Fringe to a pillow made from Sunbrella furniture fabric. Oh, do remove the black temporary thread now that holds the fringe together for easier assembly. For many other colors and styles of decorative fringes and decorative piping, visit Sayorite.com. If you like throw pillows or you want to make a different type of throw pillow, Sayorite has many different videos on making throw pillows on its YouTube channel and also at the website. Go to www.sayorite.com. It's your loyal patronage to Sayorite that makes these free videos possible. Thanks for your support.